Bad. I'm glad I found a good parking spot, bruh.
You never know what the parking's gonna do. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Heavy Metal Horror Show. I'm Jacques, and this is Eddie.
Hello.
On today's show,
Nice to meet you.
on this episode, we're going to be talking about the 1983 classic Christine. It's actually been better than I remember it.
Yeah, dude. You could appreciate it more, I think, now.
Yeah.
You know, look at it in a different light.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
I was way too young to really understand everything happening.
Yeah.
When I was younger, certain inside jokes and
then
stuff.
And then when you watch it, when you rewatch it much later on, you wonder how your parents let you watch it so young. So if you have a little one, we would recommend it. You know.
He wouldn't.
I would.
I say let it fly.
Let the boy watch.
Let the boy watch.
I said no, Donald.
This movie was basically about a guy who was a little nerdy, a little bit reserved. It was a rule follower by the name of Arnie.
Until one day everything changed. He was on the road with his buddy Dennis, and they happened to pass somebody's yard, and there was this old beat up Plymouth Fury in the front yard. And so he gets Dennis to stop the car and backs up, and Dennis doesn't know at this point like what caught his eye, but you know, he gets out and he starts walking towards his car, and Dennis is like, dude, really?
Yeah, like, what are you looking at, dude? This is a...
And his mind was just blown, man. He was in love from the moment he saw it.
He immediately says, well, how much do you want for it? And the guy's like, well, I think he said like $300 or whatever. And he immediately took out his checkbook, even though he didn't really have much money at the time. I think he took it from his college fund. But he immediately seemed like he was just infatuated with this car, and he absolutely had to have it. He gets home, his parents give him hell about it. And that's when you see things start to sort of turn with his attitude. It was the first time that he's ever really spoken back to his parents. And it was as if the car had a grip on him, like right away. And his mom told him, you can't park that car in front of this house. But she was a real... She was something, his mom.
I ain't gonna talk bad about nobody's mom.
Yeah, we can't say that.
No matter how much of a bitch they might be.
He told him that he couldn't park the car in front of the house, so then he went to a garage to park his car, and he slowly worked on it until he got it into pristine shape. This garage happened to have a parts yard next to it, and he just grabbed stuff and just started, you know, to rebuild the car a little bit at a time.
Didn't know he was a master mechanic, you know.
Hey, I'm tired of listening to you.
I really like that character, though, as much of a jerk as he is, the guy who owned the garage.
Oh God, yeah.
He was so
yeah.
funny. He was a character for sure. You know,
Yeah.
he was like yelling at the kid. And the kid didn't do anything wrong. You know, he's bringing a car there. He's gonna, you know, start there and try to pay him and everything. But the guy's just being a jerk. And he's like, "Don't try to get over me, you stupid kids. And you're not getting over on me. And no smoking in the place."
Yeah.
And all his buddies are in the background
Smoking.
sitting around a table.
Yeah. And Arnie was a guy who never really had a girlfriend. He only had his real true one friend, Dennis. He got picked on. And then suddenly his mood and his attitude started to change the longer he was around this car.
Yeah, he was starting to find his identity, you know.
Yeah.
Through Christine. And started to kind of, I guess he got addicted to, you know, coming into his own and
Yep.
went from like a really closed off, you know,
Yeah.
introvert to all of a sudden he's like the cool guy.
Yep.
And everything, and you can see that not only in the way he's speaking to people, but the way he dresses himself and he carries himself is totally different.
It was like
You
the
can see it
Fonz.
Totally was the Fonz, man. Except a little darker.
Yeah, a little darker. Yeah.
Yeah. So his buddy Dennis that he's cruising around with, he's also like he's kind of like the, I don't know if you'd call him a jock, but he's like the football guy,
Right.
And he's like really into this new girl at the school, and a couple of his other friends are betting him, like, you won't go talk to her and stuff, and he goes and he shoots his shot and everything, and she turns him down and tells him, I can't go out with you on Friday night, and he's like, well, why? And she's like, tells him, I already have a date, and then it just kind of like ends that scene.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's coming until
Until the football game.
yeah.
And all of a sudden you see his friend Dennis, the all-star, playing a football game. And then he spots Arnie in this bright red, fully restored Plymouth Fury kissing the girl that he wanted to go out with at the game. So everything kind of flipped on its head
Yeah.
in that moment. But the good times didn't last too long because the car starts to really get a hold of Arnie, and until nothing else mattered except for the car and except for revenge against anyone who didn't like him or the car, against anyone who tried to hurt him or the car. His parents didn't matter, his friends didn't matter, his girlfriend didn't even matter because he was just consumed by the car.
His girlfriend was jealous of the car, and his car was jealous of the girlfriend.
Yeah, it's kind of strange when you put it that way. It's like a love story between a guy and a car, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the imagery in this movie was freaking awesome. John Carpenter did a fantastic job, with the way that the car developed in the movie. It was almost like the car had its own personality. Like you can just feel something, like when the car did certain things. Like they did such a good job.
Oh yeah.
Like trying to make this car seem like it had emotions.
Yeah, it was about to go down when the stereo came on by itself,
Yeah.
And started playing, 50s and 60s music as any Stephen King movie would do.
Yep.
And that's when you knew something was about to go down.
The part that really got me was the part where he was after one of the guys who tried to destroy the car, and it was in between an alley, and the guy thought he was safe because it wasn't an alley, it was like an alcove in the building, and the guy thought he was safe, so he was like pushed up against the garage, and Christine, the Plymouth, couldn't fit in between. So the car started so the car started to rev its engine, and it peeled the fenders off of itself to reach this guy and kill him. It was something.
Yeah, it was also really funny, that whole scene.
It was,
because the guy, like, I mean, he's under like an overpass or something. There's big pillars everywhere, and so Christine just takes off towards him, and instead of just like hiding behind a pillar or just like running around it or something, he takes off running in a straight line.
Yeah. So in this movie alone, the majority of the budget went toward the Plymouth Fury, 17 of them. So they went around Southern California looking for this particular, model car, and they found 17 of them, and they were all in different shapes, right? Some of them were dilapidated, some of them were drivable, some of them weren't, and they basically just rebuilt them to a certain degree to fit the parts of the movie that they wanted, and they ended up destroying pretty much all of them. I think one of them went to auction in 2020.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think two
of them
survived. I don't know where they went.
Man,
but yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome to have that car, like a car that was in that movie?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
Man.
Did you know that the Plymouth Fury was not offered in that color red?
Did not.
Yeah, it was only offered in one color, and it was like buckskin beige. So they,
Wow.
I guess that was just, I don't know if that was a John Carpenter thing or if that was in the book. I didn't catch that. But yeah.
But red really suits it, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been a little more boring if it was just a beige car. You know?
Yeah, it
Wouldn't be quite as sexy.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the same. Originally, the plan was not to show the regeneration scenes in the movie for the car, because the car got to a point where it just sort of regenerated itself, which was awesome. And later on, he reconsidered it. What they did was they actually took one of the cars, made rubber parts for it, like smashed it in, and then played the film in reverse to make it look like the car was regenerating, which was pretty awesome because it was really convincing. It looked like the car was like putting itself back together again.
Yeah. I remember that as a kid thinking like that was the coolest thing. You know?
Yeah.
And I was probably watching it around the same time I was in a Knight Rider, so I was already into talking cars and stuff, you know. So
Hell yeah.
the sound of the car that you hear in that movie was not the sound of a Plymouth Fury.
No?
Did you know that?
No?
That sound was a dubbed sound from a 1970 Mustang Cobra.
Okay. Makes sense.
Which is why it sounds so mean.
Yeah.
I guess, you know. So,
Oh, man.
and by the way, all the cars, most of the cars in this movie were awesome, man. You know,
Oh, God, yeah.
like I'm a Camaro, you know, I'm
Yeah.
mid to late 60s Chevy guy, you know. Of course, the Mustangs were awesome too. I mean, this movie was full of awesome cars, and the guy who played the bully, I believe his name was Buddy.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, so he had an awesome like Camaro.
It was
You know,
bad.
it's one of my favorite cars, and the paint job on it was awesome, man. And that's another thing, you know, watching it now as we're older, to be able to appreciate those cars.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really know about different cars when I was young watching it, you know, as a kid. But yeah, looking back, you know, damn, I want that car.
Yeah, they were incredible,
You know,
huh?
And then whatever happens to it at the end just broke my heart.
I know. Too. So if you like muscle cars and you love horror movies, you would love this one. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Christine was released on December 9th, 1983, and throughout time, it ended up making $21 million. So made a pretty good bit of money too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It did really well at the box office, and people are still watching it.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is, or one of the cool things about it, I guess, is John Carpenter took on the role of director for this movie because he needed a job, you know, because he just took it because he was looking for work, basically, because it was a follow-up to The Thing, which he put out, I think, in like '81. You know,
I think so. Yeah.
and so he put out The Thing, and it was a big flop. It didn't do well. So he was actually slated to direct Firestarter. Was going to be the first one that he did. So, you know, he had learned about Stephen King, I guess, through reading up on Firestarter, and they decided that he had done so poorly with The Thing that they fired him from Firestarter. So he was kind of looking for work when Christine came across his desk. Yeah, and
Damn.
so that's how he got that. Got into doing that.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, which now you know, years and years later, decades later, The Thing is considered one of his best works. It flopped when it came out.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
I don't know what it's made to date. You know,
Yeah.
maybe we can do an episode on that.
I want to do
dig
one other
into
thing.
it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it flopped, and he picked this up and ran with it.
Man.
Made an awesome movie out of it.
So originally they were going to cast Brooke Shields for Lee's part, Alexandra Paula for it. She had other engagements, I think, at the time, but Alexandra Paula was not a bad substitute.
Yeah, and Scott Baio.
That's right.
For the role of Arnie.
Yep.
So they were trying to push. They wanted to push for a higher, you know, star-studded cast for the movie.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter actually was the one that was like, no, I don't think that's the right direction for the movie.
Wow.
We need to have some lesser-known people because we need the star of the movie to be Christine. You know?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They were actually gonna. They wanted to cast Kevin Bacon for Dennis
Yeah.
as well. I read that somewhere too.
That would have set a totally different tone, I think.
Yeah.
You know, for the movie, if they had Brooke Shields and Scott Baio or Kevin Bacon, and then we wouldn't have got Footloose.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. He picked Footloose over.
Over here doing a dance, just can't see it. Sorry. Mellow.
I think that's about it
Settle
for
down,
us.
Beavis. So the novel for this movie was released. You know, Stephen King released it, or his publisher released it in April of 1983. This movie came out in December of 1983.
Huh.
Isn't that's pretty awesome, huh?
That is awesome.
It's like one of the quickest from book to movie adaptations ever. You know, eight
That was
months.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fast. You find it sultry in here?
A sultry, hot evening.
I think it's a little sultry.
Maybe a wee bit.
I think we should do a word every episode, like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. The secret word. So if I say it again, y'all scream at home.
Are you ready? Scream with me. No. Don't put that in there. Good Lord.
I'm putting it in there.
No.
I'm trying to use the phone.
Hello. No. I can't do Pee Wee's voice.
One eternity later.
Hey, it's Foul.
Anyway, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter. John Carpenter?
Did you know that parts of Christine were filmed in the same neighborhood as John Carpenter's Halloween?
Really?
Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome, isn't it?
That's really awesome. We need to cover Halloween for Halloween.
We do.
Something.
Halloween. Speaking of Halloween, and now a moment from our sponsor. And we're back. No. And we're back.
And we're back.
Like we never left.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Stephen King was born in Portland, Maine, and on September 21st, 1947, making him 77 years old. And in that time, he has written 65 novels and over 200 short stories.
Jesus.
At least 27 of these novels were written, or stories were written, unfortunately, while he was under the influence of alcohol and drugs, which might be why he was able to pump so many out. It's all facts. Can't get offended by facts. So his wife staged an intervention in 1987. And had him, clean up his act and everything, and got him back on track with life.
Nice.
But I wonder if that explains some of the craziness that happens in his stories, and like some
Just
of his,
random stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it had nothing to do with it, But,
Yeah.
But it probably did, talking cars, killing people, dogs and things and whatnot.
What, Cujo?
Cujo. We're gonna have to cover Cujo one day. Carrie.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
another
a
good one.
good one, man.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
the remake was good of that.
Was
I
it?
felt, yeah.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could fit in another Stephen King
Stephen, what?
fucking puberty. I'm going through changes.
So proud of you, man. I'm going through changes. So we've talked about how Stephen King movies always kind of have music in them from the 50s and 60s, and you kind of it just kind of feels like a Stephen King movie when you hear that. It's part of the tone of the movie, I think. I'm sure there's some others, but off the top of my head, the only other one that I can name, other than like Bad to the Bone and Christine, which, by the way, Christine was the first movie ever to use Bad to the Bone in the movie. And now it's been used like a billion times.
Oh, yeah.
But they were the first.
That's cool.
And then we'll get into it, because I'm sure we're going to do Pet Sematary at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But, when the truck driver is driving and Gage gets killed, he's gone down the highway. I didn't know it at the time when I was a kid, because I wasn't a musical person back then.
Mm-hmm.
But when I rewatched it recently, I noticed that he was jamming out to the Ramones, like cruising down the highway.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder why they picked that song for Pet Sematary when everything else is always,
50s,
older.
60s. Yeah.
Unless maybe it was just to make it more like a timely movie and not like something from the past, because Stephen King has a way to, like I said, bring in those old songs and stuff, and things happen a lot in Maine. A bunch of his stories, they take place in towns of Maine, which is kind of cool. Another observation that I had with this movie was, I wonder, knowing now that Stephen King had addiction issues back then when he was writing all these stories and everything, if subconsciously this was his way of like writing a story about himself without realizing it, or maybe with realizing it, and the car would like represent the drugs in his life and how it turned him around and made him a different person, and he was destroying people around him.
Wow.
That he loved and cared about and stuff.
That is a unique way to look at this movie, because it was sort of like an addiction in a way. Yeah. Maybe so.
It's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Couple thumbs up.
I'd give this movie a HMHS score of like 9, like 8 or a 9. I mean, it's way up there.
That's way up there.
I just love this movie. I love old cars too. I love the theme. It was simple, yet multi-layered at the same time. It was just an awesome film, like through and through. So
yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Yeah, I would score it if I knew how to score things.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just really like it.
Right. Yeah. I would say, like, for Stephen King movies, I would put it up there, in that 8 to 9 range,
Yeah.
Overall, I'd probably put it at 7 or 8, something like. It's still up there,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite a 9 for me. Maybe it is. I did enjoy it, and I kind of like, it's one of the few movies that I've watched lately that I didn't want to end. I mean, it's not really a short movie, to be honest, but like it still doesn't feel like it doesn't drag, and
it moves
I
fast.
don't get bored.
Yeah.
At least I didn't. Maybe it's because of the love for old cars and old music. I love them oldies. They get me every time. They make me weep on the inside because I didn't live in that era.
Yeah.
I do feel like I should have been born in, a couple of decades earlier sometime.
So do I.
So mainly so we could have gotten muscle cars for like $400.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
I think my mom got her first car was a Dodge Charger, I believe. God, I feel like my papa bought it for her brand new for like $300, I think.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
God. My dad had a few 55 Chevys, a 56 Chevy. He had a Buick with a big block in it. Had that 78 Ford truck with the 390 in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, and they don't make them like that today.
Right. I don't know, kind of starting to sound like Arnie a little bit.
Yeah.
If we find one, I don't know, maybe it's finding us.
Yeah. Who knows, right?
Stick around and find out.
Yeah. Sound like an old man quick. They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They don't. They really don't. If you have a muscle car or a favorite muscle car, Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know what's your favorite car. What do you have if you have one? If it's a bike, you know, I'm kind of into Harleys and whatnot too.
Yeah.
Not like a big timer Harley guy. I don't know everything about them, but I do love them.
Yeah.
I've got two, and I really need to get them on the road soon.
All right.
Well, it's come to that time, folks.
Sorry, but we gotta go.
We hate to say,
Until
but
next
we really
time.
must go.
Plus, it's really sultry in here. Thanks everyone for checking out another episode of Heavy Metal Horror Show. We'll be back.
Take it easy.